Hello and welcome to Kerbal Space Program. This is Space Warfare, and in this series we are going to be fighting rival space agencies for control of, space. So let's get right to it. In last episode we managed to defeat the Hydrus Space Force and capture all the Hydrus pilots that we managed to shoot down. Now in this episode what we are going to do is continuing with our Duna mission and sending the mothership off to Duna to go and land and collect all the sites we can. So here we are doing our transfer burn to get over to Duna. Now there are going to be a lot of cuts in this episode because obviously we're going into planetary and it takes a long time to do the burns with such a heavy load. So as we just go over to Duna now, I spent quite a long time getting this encounter lined up for it to be about as efficient as I think I could get, and I think it ended up about being 800 meters per second delta V to get there. So when we do the landing, we are going to need to have the mothership in a relatively low orbit so we can get up and dock with it, because it's quite a heavy load we're taking down with all the site's equipment and extra fuel. So we don't want to be in a too high orbit, otherwise we won't be able to get up. So to save some delta V, we're going to be, I'm currently aero braking to get the periaps down a bit, or aquaps. While our orbit is very inclined, I don't think that we'll have enough fuel to fix that and get into a very circular orbit as well, because we're fairly low on fuel, and I don't think we'll be able to do a landing on Ike as well as Duna, because we'll have to refuel the lander once we redock, and I don't know if we'll be able to get out Ike and then once we've done that landing still have enough fuel to return. So I think we'll have to be doing just the Duna mission for now, but at least it gives us a reason to return again. Obviously once we've got more science equipment we'll be able to finish off most of the science gathering on Duna as well as do some on Ike. So as we just go to do our deorbit burn with the lander here, there we go. Now, obviously going to be coming at a fairly shallow approach because the atmosphere for Juno is a lot thinner, and even though we've got drogue chutes, it's still pretty heavy and the atmosphere is very thin. So we're going to have to hopefully come in just within the atmosphere, slow ourselves down as much as we can before we come down to land properly. Now, as I'm sure a lot of people can probably tell from the shape of the spacecraft as well as the positioning of the parachutes, this is very unstable when the parachutes open, although I do manage to overcome it when we get low enough and use the RCS and SCS to help keep us stable while we land. So as we're just coming down here, even with all the parachutes, still got to use the engine a bit, and we've landed successfully. So let's do some sights and get Jeb out. The first landing on another planet for Kerbal Khan. I wonder how we're going to get back. So let's take a screenshot here. There we go. So now let's just return to the ship and then get back to the mothership. Wow, the gravity here is a lot stronger than the moons that we've landed on before, but fortunately the EVA pack can just about overcome that. So if we just skip the launch and get straight to docking. Now I'm fairly sure we won't be able to do the landing on Ike now, because we've had to ditch the external tanks on the lander because it would have taken us a lot more fuel to get this close to the ship with them on, and even if we can land without them, we still have to refuel the lander and get over to Ike, and I don't really think we'll have enough fuel to do all that and then return. So we'll just have to dock, clean out all the experiments, transfer the data, etc., and then get ready for a window to return. Now it should be much easier to return than it was to get here, because we're obviously carrying a lot less weight, and all we really need to do is get into orbit around Kerbin, and even if we completely run out of fuel and everything by that point, we've pretty much accomplished our mission and we can send a recovery ship to get all the science and crew back. So it's actually taken a considerable amount less delta V to do this, about I think just under 800 meters per second, as opposed to I think just over 800 before. So we will return in the next episode, and we'll also use the science that we gained from the mission to see if we can advance our ships and weapons, and see if we can get some more advanced ships and more powerful weapon systems, because I don't think that Hydrus are going to take that blow lightly. But that'll be in the next episode. For now, I'm 80,000 Armo. Thanks for watching.